Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. Today I'm going to be reviewing a really interesting knife. This is a knife that was a collaboration between K-Bar and Mil-Spec Monkey. If you guys are familiar with Mil-Spec Monkey, they have a really cool website. A lot of your most popular morale patches come from that website, and they just sell a lot of really cool gear. I have one of my day packs that I have, a small backpack, is made by them in collaboration with Tactical Tailor. I have their, which I've reviewed on my channel before, their admin pouch. So they make a lot of really great stuff. This is their only knife, and they're calling it the K-Bar MSM Knife 001. So not the catchiest name in the world, but I'm just going to refer to it as the 001. So this is a really interesting knife sent to me to review, and this is long overdue. But really cool knife. I've been testing it for a little bit now, and it is just really, really neat. So I'm just going to get into this review, take it out of the holster, and just show you the knife. Very interesting design. Love the way it looks. Very evil looking. So I mean, immediately though, the design, I just know is going to turn a lot of people off. Is going to make a lot of people curious. And it's going to make a lot of people want to buy it. So you have your three different groups there. So, you know, some designs you just know people are going to eat up and love it. Some designs are, this is not an design to me. It's a really different design. It definitely piqued my interest. And I just knew I had to get a hold of this thing to review. So you can see there's the Mil-Spec Monkey logo with K-Bar. So it is not made in Olean, New York, like a lot of your K-Bar knives are. I know some are made elsewhere, but your more expensive K-Bars are going to be made here in the U.S. But you can see where this one was made, Taiwan. Not an issue to me at all. Taiwan is very well known nowadays for their quality control with production products like this. Now the 9950, I'm not sure if that's the model number, or maybe it's the serial number of this exact one. I'm not sure. I never got an answer on that. But I'm just going to get into the specs. This knife is a solid piece. As you can see, full tang, 1/4 inch SK5 steel. Cold Steel's been using SK5 for a while. I think even K-Bar themselves have made a couple of knives in SK5. It's a really good steel. I don't have a lot of experience with it. I just know of its reputation. I like what I have seen with this steel so far. So I think it was obviously I think it's a pretty good option. Approximate size of this knife, the blade length is 5.5 inches. The overall length is 8.5. So you can see in my hand, it's a decent sized knife. It's very wide, but you can see in my hand, it's not huge. You know, it's not going to be a great chopper, but it's going to be, it'd be a good fighting knife. Just going to throw that application out there. Design, you see, is a very, very dramatic Americanized tanto, or tanto, however you wish to pronounce it. You have a very nicely unsharpened upper swedge, but it is ground very thin, which makes this primary point like a needle. This thing is needle sharp. And yet, when I did a bunch of stab tests, it's perfectly intact. Very strong tip, but very sharp. Secondary tip, the secondary point here, very sharp. You see the grind is very steep, but they somehow, you can see it's hard to tell, but it is slightly hollow ground, very lightly hollow ground, which that means that with a bevel that is this steep, or grind that's that steep, it comes down and you're able to get a much more narrow edge. So from the factory, this edge, like this has not been touched up. I did not hand sharpen that. I did not strop it. It came that nice. So the edge the edge geometry is great. It's fantastic. The edge itself, very sharp. I've done a lot of cutting with this knife, And let's see if I have a piece of paper. Yes. Now this paper is a little bit damp. It was outside a little bit. So that is after a bunch of chopping. I've done a testing video. I have not uploaded it yet. So it gets caught up a little bit, but like that. But there's also not the best paper to do this. Damp paper. There's that secondary edge, cutting edge right there. That saw the least amount of action. That's still the sharpest, but still very sharp. The edge held up very nicely, I thought, and I was just really impressed with that. You can see the coating wearing off from where I did some batoning with it. So the coating is a thick textured coating, very, very similar to what you'd see on a lot of K-bars. Not as thick as you would see on a Tops knife, but still very thick. It took a while for that coating to wear down. Some of the other key features of this, that it will come wrapped, the handle will come wrapped in paracord, which is very nice, adds a lot of thickness to that handle, which is really good. So a lot of thickness, and it also creates a shape in that it's less prone to move back and forth on you. So it's very ergonomic. It's going to be warm. If you have any kind of G10 scales, or God forbid, the bare steel, it's going to be very cold, especially right now in Georgia where we have ice. We've had temperatures in the single digits and the teens lately. If you're outside, you have to be in it, or even outside for a minute, you have this on your belt, it's going to get cold. So grabbing it by that soft, forgiving paracord handle, very comfortable, very warm. Right now you can only get this in black and with OD green wrap. So some of the key features of this knife and the design, very simple handle design. You have two holes down here for lashing if you had to make this a spear, or just anything really you wanted a lanyard that came off of here to attach to your wrist, you can. The butt of the knife down here, heavily jimped, so that you can get this in reverse grip. Place your thumb right there for an ice pick grip. Very functional. Very effective jimping. Your hand's not sliding off there, but it's also not sharp on the sides, so they did a good job with that. A very prominent finger choil here, so that your hand will not come forward. Very nice guard there. Just encapsulates your hand. You can get a complete great hammer grip on that. You can, no matter what size your hand is, you're going to get a complete grip on this knife. You have a drastic, very, very drastic thumb ramp with, again, that incredible jimping that's not painful to the touch. If you slide off the sides, it's not painful because of this coating, but it is extremely effective. Like, I'm really digging my thumb in there. You see it's leaving the marks. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to slide. So you have a great finger guard and thumb ramp. So when you're saber gripping this knife, you can do some great whittling with it if you're trying to make feather sticks or any kind of tasks like that. And then you have this portion right here of jimping on the back spine, so you could really choke up on this knife if you had to get some real fine detailed cuts. You can put your index finger back here to do some intricate cuts, like if you're trying to cut something out, or if you're skinning, dressing, anything like that. Or if you're having to double hand this to scrape some bark off a tree or anything like that, make some fire tinder, you can. So that's easy to do. So very nice. I was thinking with such a steep grind that this knife was not going to be that sharp, but as you saw, it is very sharp, and it was even sharper when it was new. So great job on that, but it's not a delicate edge. Being SK5 steel, it's going to hold that edge. You see the balance point, about where it says collaboration. So almost perfect, but it is definitely blade heavy. You can do a little bit of chopping with it. Even if it's just kind of taking a tree limb and just kind of debranching, cut a little bit of those real thin branches off. Just doing like that, chopping them off for some good firewood. The sheath is great. It is just an injection molded hard plastic sheath, not Kydex, but it's going to be extremely lightweight and it's going to get the job done. You have a bunch of lashing points here, different options. It comes with these malice clips, which you have to, these are old school, you got to lift up that tab, that comes out, and you can mount this to a belt or any kind of your MOLLE compatible gear. So it comes ready to mount. The sheath, you can see it has these little smoothed ridges going in there to help assist the blade going in. Very positive click when the blade goes in. No rattling at all. Blade is in there. It is a very good retention sheath. But the main way you get the blade out, like I said, you can get it out. You're going to end up maybe scratching it, but if you don't want to do that. But basically what's happening is these two flared out portions are encapsulating the blade. You see the jimping part is going back behind those ridges. So that's almost holding it in there completely. Like I said, you can really yank on it and get it out, but the best way to take this out, and the way that I always do it, is you can see that it is flared. So when you're gripping the knife, you're putting your thumb in there, and you're doing like a lot of times your Kydex holsters, you use a part of the Kydex holster or sheath to push the blade out to help guide it out for a nice controlled unsheathing. But this, when you do that, you're actually spreading those lips of the plastic apart and allowing the blade to come out easier. So an ingenious design. So you're just grabbing it, it's just a very natural, normal grip, and just pushing off, and then your blade comes out. So very, very cool. The weight, I forgot to weigh this, but I will annotate it right here. There will be an annotation about the weight. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere 8 or 9 ounce. So it's not a behemoth, but it's not light. But so extremely comfortable in reverse grip, because that thumb ramp goes right into the palm of your hand. It does not hurt at all. Your hand is safe with that guard, and you can ice pick it by putting your thumb back there. Super, super comfortable. Very secure. And of course, saber grip. You couldn't be more secure. Even in a hammer grip, you're still secure. So, what a cool knife. Great collaboration. The design is a little funky, but I just showed you that it has a lot of functionality. Some people may be turned off by the Tanto design. I like it. I think it looks cool, especially for a combat-related knife that can serve some bushcraft tasks. So I'm very pleased with this knife. It can be had off of their website. Right now, I think Mil-Spec Monkey is the only place where you can buy this. I have not seen it anywhere else but their actual website. But they're selling these for $55. I think that's a steal for what you're getting. I definitely recommend this knife. I would check it out. Unless the design just really turns you off, I would take a look at this knife, because it is really, really cool, and it's a good knife for the price. So, big thank you to Mil-Spec Monkey for sending me this. Definitely check this out. Link in the description to their website. They got a lot of cool stuff, and they're just some really good guys over there. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace!